Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Gaura Premanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Sri Guru. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29, Text 38. Sachira Devaraja Rishi, Sachira Devaraja Rishi. Stehst du da? Machen wir das so unterlicht ab. So. Also, ich es nicht so gerne so Schlummermodus. Ich weiß nicht. Besser? Nicht?
Also, es brennt halt, aber schon.
Vielleicht muss ein bisschen. Sujira Devaraja Rishi, Sujira Devaraja Rishi, Syad Achyuta Katha Shrayaha, Syad Achyuta Katha Shrayaha, Srinvata Shradadhanasya, Srinvata Shradadhanasya, Nityadasya Diyataha, Nityadasya Diyataha, Sujira Devaraja Rishi, Sujira Devaraja Rishi, Syat Achyuta Katha Shrayaha, Syat Achyuta Katha Shrayaha, Srinvata Shradadhanasya, Srinvata Shradadhanasya, Nityadasya Diyataha, Nityadasya Diyataha, Sachira Devaraja Rishi, Sachira Devaraja Rishi, Syat Achyuta Katha Shrayaha, Syat Achyuta Katha Shrayaha, Srinvata Shradadhanasya, Srinvata Shradadhanasya, Nityadasya Adhiyataha, Nityadasya Adhiyataha. Please chant. Sachira Devaraja Rishi,
Sachira Devaraja Rishi,
Syad Achyuta Katha Shrayaha,
Syad Achyuta Katha Shrayaha,
Srinvata Shradadhanasya,
Srinvata Shradadhanasya,
Nityadasya Adhiyataha,
Nityadasya Adhiyataha. Sachira Devaraja Rishi,
Sachira Devaraja Rishi,
Syad Achyuta Katha Shrayaha,
Syad Achyuta Katha Shrayaha,
Srinvata Shradadhanasya,
Srinvata Shradadhanasya,
Nityadasya Adhiyataha,
Nityadasya Adhiyataha,
Sachira Devaraja Rishi,
Sachira Devaraja Rishi,
Syatachyuta Katashrayah
Syatachyuta Katashrayah
Srinvata Shradadhanasya
Srinvata Shradadhanasya
Nityadasaya Adiyata
Nityadasya Adiyataha
Saha, that Achirat, very soon, Eva, certainly, Raja Rishe, O best of kings, Syat, becomes, Achyuta, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Katha, narrations, Ashrayaha, depending on, Shrinvataha, one who is hearing, Shradadhanasya, faithful, Nityada, always, Syat, becomes, Adiyataha, by cultivation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O best of kings, one who is faithful, who is always hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always engaged in the culture of Krishna consciousness and in hearing of the Lord's activities, very soon becomes eligible to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Please repeat. O best of kings, one who is faithful, who is always hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always engaged in the culture of Krishna consciousness and in hearing of the Lord's activities, very soon becomes eligible to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Purport. Constant engagement in the transcendental loving service of Vasudeva means constantly hearing the glories of the Lord. The principles of Bhakti Yoga, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishwasmaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, are the only means by which perfection can be attained. Simply by hearing of the glories of the Lord, one is elevated to the transcendental position. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uddha Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Shatani. Sujira Devaraja Rishe Syat Achuta Katashraya Srinvata Shradhanasya Nityata Syadatiyata. O best of the kings, one who is faithful, who is always hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always engaged in the culture of Krishna consciousness and in hearing of the Lord's activities, very soon becomes eligible to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we are really coming to a closing of the pastime of King Puranjana or King Prajinabarhi. Just checking. Oh, there's quite some verses left though in this. Yeah, this chapter has okay, so the chapter will continue for some time. But now, of course, we can hear how Narada Muni, he's giving some concluding words. And we know what was the topic. The topic is the living entity's engagement in this material world, in this material body. And now Narada Muni is saying how the living entity can get free. And especially in this verse, the essence of how one can become free by hearing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Achyuta Katha, Krishna Katha. And so let's try to a little bit speak about the importance of hearing about Krishna, hearing about Krishna's activities, and hearing of Krishna's own words. This is called Krishna Katha. So how important it is, and also we can try to discuss how it should be done. So hearing, why is hearing so important? Because through sound we can actually get to know something which is out of our experience. That's the very unique quality of sound, that it gives you revelation about something unknown. Even in the material sphere, let's say there's something very typically Swiss which Ukrainians don't know, like fondue. You know fondue? Fondue, you don't know fondue. So then by sound I can explain it to you and you will get an understanding. So fondue is rotten milk, which is called cheese, melted in a pot, and then they put alcohol inside, and then they take bread, and the bread they dip into that and eat it. Now you have a picture in your mind, isn't it? Like, okay, interesting.
Can be potato also.
Sorry?
Can be a potato, they you like more.
It can also be potato instead of bread.
And can be without...
Probably you're not Swiss, we don't know about this. That's raclette. So sound can reveal something which we don't know. And that's why sound, hearing is basically the only way how we can get to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By hearing. And therefore there's so much stress given to that hearing process in the scriptures. And again here we hear. We should hear. It's always emphasized. But one thing I find quite interesting to reflect about is, okay, if we understand that simply by hearing about the Lord, then we can attain the supreme perfection, then why we don't just hear? No? It would make more sense. We're doing so many things, but we could just sit down here and hear the whole day. Parikshit Maharaj, he was an enlightened soul, and he could have, can you imagine, Parikshit Maharaj, he was the grandson of Arjuna, and so he had basically direct narrations from personalities who have seen Krishna face to face. It's quite far out, no? Like, imagine Vallabha Sen Prabhu comes to me and says, yeah, I've seen Krishna, and then he will explain, he looks like that, and he said that, and he did that. It will be very profound. Like if I speak about my grandfather who is now dead, but I knew him, to my, let's say I have a child, the child will get a very good glimpse of who my grandfather was, because I had direct perception. So Parikshit Maharaj, he also heard of Krishna, and basically he could have just listened about Krishna his whole life, no? Just do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Krishna Katha, and that's it. But no, he did so many activities in life. But then when the time came, at the end, when he knew I have to die, he completely dedicated himself to hearing about Krishna. So, Hare Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada, he gave us so many activities and engagements. He gave us hearing, like what we're doing now, but then he gave us so many other things. And yeah, this is also a sign that, okay, hearing is good and hearing is the most important, but it's not just all in all. There has to be a deeper understanding how hearing should be done. And we hear in this verse some unique qualities which should go with hearing. So one is Shraddha-dhanasya, meaning with faith, and Nityada, always. We can understand that Nityada, Srinvatam Svakata Krishna Punyashavana Kirtana. Yes. And Kirtana. And how? And what is the other verse? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nashta Preshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam. So this is if one has faith in something, he will do it always. It's kind of a logical thing. If I have faith that I become happy by earning money, I will always endeavor to earn money. No? If I have faith that I become happy by being beautiful, I will always engage in physical activities, healthcare, dietary restrictions, because I have faith. So Nitya, always engaging in something, is linked with faith. It's a symptom of faith. If I come to the temple only once a year, it means I don't have faith. I do it out of a ritual. But if I come to the temple regularly If I live in the temple, means I have faith that in the temple I get something which is helping me in my life, in my spiritual life. So this is a very important point. But then Shraddha and Nitya, of course, Prabhupada, he translated as daily. Because always is quite far away, no? Always means 24 hours, but then he said daily. Do it daily. Every day you should study Srimad Bhagavatam. But Shraddha is a much deeper word, no? Faith. It has much more, it has more what's the word? It has more
value, meaning.
Meaning, yeah, it has more value, meaning, that word. It can expand, know what does Shraddha actually mean. And so, to that point that, okay, hearing is so important, we should do it always, so let's just sit down and hear, but that necessarily isn't the right thing to do. Maybe that's not Shraddha, then it's not with Shraddha. So Shraddha means you do it with faith, and with faith means you do it according to the instructions of the spiritual master, of the one who is engaging you in that process. And I want to read a few things to you today, which are quite interesting when it comes to how do we as followers of Srila Prabhupada cultivate the hearing process. And now I want to read first this one. I guess some of you have heard about it. This is one devotee who is sharing memories of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, it's not that we have a literal proof of what Prabhupada said, but we can also, it's another proof that if somebody speaks what he experienced, it's secondary. The primary one is the words of a person, but if we hear from another person about that person, it's also a proof. So this is Kusha, who is sharing that memory. I was only able to cook for 3 days because I ended up having a health issue. Srila Prabhupada had a sign in the kitchen that said, quote, health is number 1, chanting is number 2, service is number 3, and then comes reading, unquote. In that order. It was handwritten by Srila Prabhupada. He had that made up when Radharani had come to visit, as she hadn't been taking care of her health. She was working really hard, and Srila Prabhupada made the point in what order of importance we were to take life seriously. We were so young and so foolish that we didn't know anything except what Srila Prabhupada taught us. So what's the order? You remember? Yeah.
Health, then japa, then service, and then reading.
Okay. So now we have that statement, hearing is the most important, right? And of course chanting is also some kind of hearing, but here especially we have that Krishna Katha, hearing about the activities of Krishna is the most important. But here comes Prabhupada and gives a priority list, and it comes at the last. Interesting. And more interesting, the first thing he mentions is health. Probably you're not this body. Of course, we can say this is not an absolute statement. In some sense, this is not absolute, because maybe to another person the order is different. For example, if I have transcended the bodily platform, then it will change. If I know I'm not this body, we can give an example. Of a devotee who was neglecting his body, like Sanatana Goswami who had all these things, and he didn't take care of it. He just continued with his service. So it's not an absolute statement, but I think it has some weight for the sadhaka, for the one who is on the bodily platform, meaning identifying with this body, and who is practicing Krishna consciousness. Sorry, I just didn't try that. Take care of my health. And there is a compilation of Srila Prabhupada's statements. It's called Shikshamrita. Who has heard of that book? You know that book? You also? Very nice. The devotees have compiled statements about different topics. And there is one section called Health. So we can read a few quotes of Srila Prabhupada to understand why he puts health first in that sequence. Here he says, and it kind of maybe underlines what I just said, that this is especially important for us. Prabhupada says, be careful about your health first. So this is a letter. Be careful about your health first. This information is not only for you, but for all my noble sons. So it's kind of a general instruction to all the, of course, sons and daughters, and granddaughters and grandsons, and grand-grandsons and grand-granddaughters, and so on. And Prabhupada says, I may live or die, it does not matter, but you must live for a long time to push on this Krishna consciousness movement. What does it say, that statement? Why, why is health so important?
So that we can preach, so we can give Krishna consciousness to others and push it.
Yes, we can do service, no? We need, because to preach we need a body. Actually it's not possible to preach if you're sick. And Prabhupada gave the own example. He was preaching, but how did he take care of his own health? Very, very much. He was taking massage every day, morning walk. He was very strict with his diet. Another quote, the first thing is that you must feel well. In whatever condition you should feel well, because if you fall sick, everything will be topsy-turvy. And we know that, no? When we feel bad, everything will go topsy-turvy. Our chanting is bad, like Vallabha Prabhu honestly shared with me the other day when he was sick, that Prabhu, I'm not on so advanced platform. If I'm sick, I cannot, So very honest. And for most of us it's like that. When we feel sick, then we cannot practice. We cannot concentrate on Krishna. There's many statements where Prabhupada says, don't worry about the body, you just focus on Krishna. So that's another side. But the reality often is that if we are sick, we cannot actually focus. There is an example, Jayananda Prabhu, who is Prabhupada's disciple. He was, for example, one of the rare souls who was completely not on the bodily platform. He was sick, he had leukemia. It's a very, very serious condition. But he would continue with his service. He wouldn't even tell anyone, he wouldn't take any treatment. He just wanted to. And eventually he passed away. But that's an exception. Mostly it's not possible. Here's another statement. It is important to keep the body fit and healthy so that we will not meet the obstacle of ill health while serving Krishna. Ill health may hinder one's service, so we want to avoid it as much as possible. So Prabhupada is giving that emphasis on service. So health, then chanting, and then service. And there is a very important verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which actually explains why the service is so important. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 16. Shushushro Shradadhanasya, same word, Shradadhanasya, Vasudeva Kata Ruchisya Mahatseva Vipra, Punya Tirtani Shevanat. O twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So, I want that the perfection will come by properly hearing Krishna Katha. But this is only possible if I actually have a taste for hearing. If I don't, somebody can sit in this room and I'm speaking, but if there is no desire within, an earnest desire, even though the body is here, it will not enter, it will not go deep. And here it's explained that desire comes from serving the pure devotee. And how do we serve the pure devotee? By serving ISKCON, we are directly serving Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON for everyone to get a chance to serve a pure devotee for all time. Whoever does any service in this temple serves a pure devotee. And by that service, it is guaranteed that some taste will develop for hearing. That might be smaller or more, depending on the surrender the devotee has. If I come and I throw a coin in the donation box, or let's say I clean a plate for 2 minutes as a service, that will have a different result than one who is maybe coming twice a week and doing a few hours of service, or one who... But we have to say, eventually it depends on the intention in the heart. So somebody may be here all the time, but if the intention is not nice and pure, it will also not give. So it's consciousness behind. And we can take this as a measurement for our own spiritual life. How much did I develop the taste for hearing? Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai Ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaura Ki Jai. How much did I develop the taste? And there also we can take different aspects to understand. How regular do I hear? Do I hear every day, or do I sometimes skip? And when I hear, how do I know? What's the experience when I'm hearing? Can I feel Krishna? Is he revealing himself to me? Taste. Do I like to hear Krishna no matter what? If I'm maybe tired, hungry, sleepy, I still like to hear, or I don't like to hear? Do I like to hear no matter who is speaking? Or do I only like to hear when His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj gives a class? Or do I also like when the new Bhakta speaks something about Krishna and I feel, wow, something is happening within my heart when I hear that person speaking. So this is, we can reflect about our spiritual life. How much did I develop the taste? And remember that this taste has to be cultivated by surrender and service to the pure devotee. But now to go back to the point, in our stage, how do we serve the pure devotee? With our body. It's not really possible for us to serve with our mind. Primarily, you can serve the pure devotee with your mind. For example, you can sit down and just pray to the pure devotee, glorify the pure devotee, meditate about the pure devotee. This is possible and it's bona fide, but as long as we are not on that platform, it will not work. As long as we are on the bodily platform, we have to engage the body in the service. And so that's why we have to come back to this point of health, and we can use the last few minutes to hear how Srila Prabhupada said we can keep good health. We should always remember that our body is not for sense gratification. It is for Krishna's service only. And to render very good sound service to Krishna, we should not neglect the upkeep of the body. So this general point that as soon as we engage our body in sense gratification, we will actually harm our body. It's a material law. That doesn't mean that you will not have any sense gratification. Like when I eat prasadam, I accept prasadam for me to get strength and nourishment and energy. I will have sense gratification, but sense gratification should be the secondary. Maybe not in the secondary, it shouldn't be in the forefront, but it's coming automatically. And then Prabhupada is saying in the same letter, try to take care of your health in the best possible way. So this is the instruction. Keep your health in good condition and work very hard for Krishna. That is our motto of life. Okay, here becomes a little more detailed. Regarding your question about maintaining your body nicely, I think that if you follow our regulations of diet, sufficient sleeping, and keep to the prescribed rules of cleanliness, 2 baths per day, then you will be able to keep yourself in proper health. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita gives the yoga system, and what does he say? What is very important if you want to practice yoga?
That you don't sleep and eat too lesser.
That you balance your sleeping and eating. So Prabhupada is speaking about diet and sleeping. He's not concocting his own thing, no, he's actually giving Krishna's knowledge. Now often, I don't know if you saw that, but I saw many times devotees who have health issues, they do all kinds of things. They take some medicine, they make some special exercises, they make special diets. But usually if you look at their life, they are not regulated at all. They change the diet every week, they sleep one day this time, then the other day that time. And what does it show? They didn't understand the simple instruction of Krishna. Just regulate your life. And what do we do the most in our life? We spend 6 to 8 hours sleeping, and we spend, like, in our temple a little more, maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours eating. Not completely, but when we also speak Prajalpan. So we spend a lot of time in that. And you know, that's only one thing, because if you eat, then the process of eating continues in your body. So a lot of time and energy goes into sleeping and eating. So naturally, if you regulate that, it will have a great impact on your life. Eat as much as absolutely necessary. Don't eat more, and in this way keep your health. Eat as much as absolutely necessary. Don't eat more. First it sounds like eat as much as absolutely necessary, then it takes a turn, no? Don't eat more. So eat as much as absolutely necessary. Imagine some big feast. all the nice preparations, and then the host will come and say, please, you eat as much as is necessary for you. Usually devoted, eat as much as you can up to your neck. And that's okay from time to time. But Prabhupada, as a general thing in a daily life, what is necessary? Disease comes when there are dirty conditions. Also don't eat more than necessary. As soon as palatable food is offered, they eat. That is disease. Yeah, and it's a fact. As soon as there is some nice sweet, some nice this or that, who can control the tongue? Everybody is losing the control. So then always every few weeks in the temple, lately it has become less, but then the Istabhosh point will come up. The prasadam is too opulent. We have to make the prasadam more simple. And then those who have stayed here for quite some time, they say, yeah, I know, we tried, but it's not working. So our advice to you, because those who stay longer, just you regulate yourself. If you cannot change the prasadam, what is offered, you change how you accept the prasadam. It's simple, but not so simple, it's quite difficult because... So, to make it, you can see I try to make this point a little bit practical, that we should be hearing about Krishna. But hearing about Krishna is only possible if we have a taste. You cannot do it your whole life without taste. And taste is comes by serving the devotee, by serving, especially in our case, we are serving Srila Prabhupada's mission. And by this we will develop nice taste for hearing about Krishna. This is like when you work in a company, usually you get some payment, and that's the payment we get. Taste for hearing. And in order to do service, we need a sound health. And now we spoke about the diet. And that's only one part, of course. I don't know if it's a bigger part or a less bigger part, maybe it depends also on the person. But one is the mental health. We're speaking about physical health, but the mental health is also there. And mental health is a huge thing in devotee circles, how to maintain good mental health, how to be happy mentally. Because one reason why maybe some devotee can dedicate some time of his life to the service of the pure devotee, but then stops completely, is because the person comes to the point where mentally it doesn't work anymore. It becomes, they become unhappy, frustrated, too many desires come up. So that's a major point too, and of course you could give a whole seminar about it, I guess, and I'm definitely not the authority to speak on it, but I feel it's an important and interesting topic which we devotees should not neglect. And it has a lot to do with Varnashram Dharma, actually. It has to do how we engage our nature in this world, so that we feel fulfilled, we have good relationships, and we can maintain ourselves without having too much stress. You remember I was giving a class the other day and I was reading from Bhagavatam, the symptoms of Kali Yuga, how people are short-lived. I think Yamuna was here, I remember. Maybe somebody. And then the question, why is it that people are short-lived in Kali Yuga? And Prabhupada in the purport points out, major factor is because people are not regulated in their habits. And we spoke about sleeping, eating habits, but how do we regulate eating and sleeping? It again has a lot to do with our mind. If I don't feel fulfilled in my life, having relationships, emotionally, etc. It will have a very, usually first effects comes in eating and sleeping. I have trouble sleeping, I have trouble eating. Sometimes some people they eat too much, or then they oversleep because they become frustrated. So the underlying thing is often the mental condition, which then will come on the gross plane of eating, sleeping. And for this we need guidance. We need guidance of people who can show us how we can engage our nature in Krishna consciousness and then live a healthy, happy life to serve the pure devotee and to develop taste for hearing. And we should have faith that one day, like Parikshit Maharaj, when we perform our duties nicely to Srila Prabhupada, we serve him, one day in our life the time will come when we can completely focus on hearing and really directly absorb in Krishna and prepare ourselves to leave this city of 9 gates and never return again, what we are hearing now. So thank you for your attention and have a nice breakfast. Just eat as much as absolutely necessary. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions?
Допустим, Прабхупада здоровье. Он дает какие-то наставления по поводу здоровья, что нужно делать, как нужно жить, чтобы быть здоровым, как нужно питаться, как вообще надо делать. Так, конкретно.
Prabhu asking about, did Prabhupada give some specific instructions about health, about how we can regulate on an everyday basis, like our health, how we should eat, and so on.
Там, на ночь не кушать.
Don't eat in the evening.
Ложиться в 8 спать.
Go to sleep at 8.
Is a question?
Пить воду.
Drink water. Is it вопрос?
Ну, я просто спрашиваю, есть такие вот, то, что здоровье?
He asking about the specific instructions. Do we have something like this?
This Shikshamrita, there is many quotes where he specifically speaks about certain things. What to eat, how to sleep. He gives some instructions, yeah. But maybe as another point, especially eating has a lot to do with your nature again. Because not what is nourishment for me might be poisonous for you, depending on your constitution. And it's all there in the Vedas. Ayurveda gives the perfect knowledge to.
Prahladanand Maharaj, he has book about health based on Srila Prabhupada цитаты.
Quotes.
Да, там все описано, очень хорошо.
Ну, подойдите.
Да. А можете еще добавить, сказать, что Шрила Прабхупада говорил, что причина болезни это переедание, нечистоплотность и беспокойство ума.
Prabhu also add that Prabhupada was saying that cause of disease is overeating, dirtiness, not cleanliness, and
беспокойство ума.
Yeah, so this book will be nice to read.
This is Prabhupada Swami. He wrote a book, Hope It Meets You in Good Health.
Hope it meets in good health.
No.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
nice.
about health, and it's about like what Prabhupada wrote.
Prabhupada gave many instructions on health. Yeah, and he would say, hope this meets you in good health. Prabhupada himself was Ayurvedic. How to say? He had a lot of faith in Ayurveda.
He was how did he say? He was into drugs.
He was into drugs.
When Shyamarana told him that he was into
Yeah,
drugs,
yeah.
and he said, "Oh, I'm too."
Yeah, he did the same thing. Good. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a nice day. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Vancha
Damodar Prasad Dasa.
Kripa Sindhupi Yesterday, Akila Prabhu also sent me some message from some studies they made that walking stairs is very good for health. It's one of the best things one can do for health.
We have a lot of stairs here, so.
Especially if you live upstairs. Yeah, Hare Krishna, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I saw a package yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just took it out because
After breakfast,
I can tell you, it's a easy room, you sleep in that room.
Это сложно на самом деле переводить вот так.
At the moment, nobody's there. We'll see who's coming.
Чисто на автоматически.
Today we'll come.
Ну да, концентрация чисто на переводе.
And one thing, because that's usually the difficult, I get an invoice. I don't know which parcel it is, so I guess they have a number.
Yeah.
Я знакомый.
I was
Его жена, она училась.
I also,
Да, училась.
I get the invoice from the action, I always just pay, I don't know.
I will write to you. This one is Maya Puri something, and the other one is Hare Krishna Export. But
Yeah, that's another thing. The one who sends, they will write, so from that I can understand.
yeah. Thanks.
So when?
On Saturday.
And how was it?
It was very nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, everything was really wonderful. It was hard to go back. And I like the fact that, like, okay, everything's spiritual, but the fact that when you come out, everything is so interesting and everything is so active, and I like that. I even like the monkeys, you know. I was like, I mean, they were horrible.
Something got stuck?
Huh? No, I had a Harikata and I were, I mean, it's horrible because Harikata and I were walking through my bazaar, and some poop came out of the air. And I was like, Harikata, watch out. And then I looked up and I saw a monkey's ass. And he was shooting at people, and they were peeing on people. I just couldn't believe that they do that. They're really disgusting, but there's something very charming about them also. So,
somehow these monkeys, you can feel they're ordinary monkeys, isn't it?
Crazy. And they stole like das garland and ate it. And but nothing else was. But I saw that they stole some people's glasses. They put everything in the mouth, like, and then they break it. So and I like the cows, like the most beautiful cows, and the temples. First we were at Govardhan, and we were staying at the guest house of Govardhan Iskon, and then we were going to one of our teas there and lectures.
Small.
Yeah, and I loved Asit Krishna Maharaj. So nice. And then his teacher came of Sanskrit. There was such a nice exchange between them. And then in the end we gave him a donation, like offered our obeisances. And then his teacher started crying because he was so proud because he had a student who is sannyasi and so on. But they were so like warm, and yeah, and we did a lot of parikrams and visited a lot of temples. We went to Jaipur.
Oh, nice.
And I loved Govindaji's darshan.
Beautiful time.
Yeah.
Did you see how they do kirtan there?
It's the best kirtan.
It's amazing, no?
Like everyone is singing and everyone is dancing,
Yeah.
and they just catch you and you have to dance with them. And everyone shares like candy and tulasi between each other. It's so cute. And I liked how they're very open people. And I loved that everything was open, like the guys getting his beard shaved on the street. Like, so that was cool. I liked, there I didn't buy for the shop, but I found it very fun to bargain with so much fun. It's like the time does not exist. Only now we're bargaining, so it was quite cool. And then we went to this Goradan retreat also, but we weren't staying there, just going to the lectures of the Holy Name retreat. Okay. And Giriraj Swami was there, and I like him a lot. So, and I got a book signed. He signed for everyone, so it was so nice. And Radhana Swami came only for one evening.
Oh, that's amazing. You saw him too?
Yeah, so I never saw him. Both of them, I never saw him like in person. So he sang a kirtan, and that was nice. And we had kirtans at Goradan. That was everything was nice. And we had kirtans at Kusum Sarai also. And Session was crazy. Became like ecstatically crazy. I never saw him like that. So that was also very nice. Yes, and then after that we went to Jaipur, and then we went to Vrindavan. I mean, the only thing that you can complain there is the pollution and dirt, but what can you do about that? In the end, you get used to it. But for me, like when we landed in Delhi, I've never been out of Europe, so like that the air smells so bad because of the pollution. That was for me like very shocking. But yeah, otherwise, and the people are so nice. I really like the people, like so open and like everyone. Right? I don't know, and I have a feeling like, I mean, you also know it, that everything for them is natural. And yeah, I sometimes have a feeling like that we're trying sometimes to do artificially what comes natural for them, like in what we do, like in the temples and so on. And the most beautiful deities I saw were, of course, Krishna and the dear deities. And I like Prabhupada's rooms. Harikatha, like Damodar temple, the best room doing parikramas all the time, because that counts as going around Goradan. Yeah.
This Shila is the Goradan Shila.
Yeah. And then yeah. And I liked a lot.
Sanatana.
I know it's Rupa's temple, but I don't know if it was here or.
It's considered Goradan because there's the Shila, and this was given by Krishna to, I'm not sure if it was Sanatana or Ravana.
Yeah, I forgot.
Because that was his sadhana to do every day, but it became so old, and Krishna gave him this Shila. With the foot, I think there's a footprint inside.
Yes, so Krishna of cow, of his flute, and something else, I forgot. And then it's marked. And you can touch Baba Swami's japa also, that was ecstatic. And yeah, Prabhupada's rooms were ecstatic. And yes, and one more thing, when we went to the first Govindaji temple there, and then I, because I guess because I have this Pujari service, so I was like always, I'm so far away. And also like the temple is built that it's not like you come to the altar, it's like always a room before and then we were there. And then I asked Sundarananda Prabhu, who's our mentor, so I was like, why is the deity always so far away? Like it's so, like you can't even sometimes see him, especially Radharamana didn't see him at all, because he's too small and there was too much crowd. And then we went out, and somehow this, maybe usually it's open, but they said that it's rare, that it's yoga pit of Govindaji. So this Brahmana came and he opened the door for us, and he locked us in, and we could go to the yoga pit and see the original Govindaji, which was, from the ground. He was in the ground, and then there was a cow who was pouring milk on the spot, and then they.
So the noise people in Jaipur?
No, that's in Vrindavan, yes. And it's there. And then I'm claustrophobic. So that was my experience. So I was very like, when you're like you have some conditioning in yourself, but you just can't. And it was really small room, like in the ground, and I was a little bit like, I don't want to go inside. And then everyone went, and I was thinking, like, it's my opportunity, I have to go there. And then I went there, and I opened my obeisances, and I was quickly out. I went there, and I saw the deity, and then I started crying because I conquered my limitation, so on. And then this Brahmana came, and then he opened the room, and he said, like, come in, come in. And we came in, and we were on the altar. So he just brought us on the altar, and he showed us in detail all the deities. And there was also another Govardhan Shiva there with the footprint of Krishna, which was, like, there are two. One is there, and one is the other. Yeah, it was pretty nice. And it was like, and that's the Prabhu said, like, so see, because you complained how the deity is so far, now you're here.
Wow, you got a lot of mercy.
Yeah, it was so nice. And then we had mercy at the end, you know. We started our journey on Friday 8 p.m. And then Harikata got sick.
Oh.
And then we got on the plane, and then I got sick. So Valentin and Irina were our friends until we came here. We don't know how we came.
On the journey.
Yeah, but I was really purified. So, and then we were in the days and now we came.
He's also fine?
Yeah. We're a little bit thinner, which is good for us. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
some purification like that comes.
yeah. I have a prasad.
Sure.
I have prasad. I want to distribute. It's from Damodar and Daksha.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Everyone should go there and see.
Jetzt spielt der Mann auch für die Zeit, muss die erzählen.
Heute Montag? Wie ist die Zeitstück? Ich glaube schon, ja. Ich muss schnell in den Kalender schauen. Ich kann es nachher schreiben. Ja. Du bist frei, oder?
Ja.
Ich schaue mal nach.
Okay.
Хотя я не знаю, она и хорошо, какой-то темп.